Hello, fellow humans. League of Legends is an ever-evolving game. There's constantly being new strategies invented with new drafts that have most likely never been played before due to the odds of that happening, right? And this game is no exception, and especially what I want to highlight is the first swap made by Fnatic, which I think includes a clever new idea, as well as the last play where the game is still reasonably close, where Fnatic end up throwing the game away. And so let's start at the beginning of, well, we have a typical lane swap situation at our hands, right? Oscar just scouting the top side a bit, both junglers clearing their respective camps, laners just chilling on their side, that is, well, theirs, while enemy team is giving up the lane. And for now, not really too much difference, except you can see that Jun is actually moving to the top side and refusing to cover his Cassandra for the dive, which would be what we usually see, right? The typical support recalls on level 2 and then stands at the tower, tries to bait enemy cooldowns and make the dive playable for the other top lane. And actually, Mako also doesn't do that. He instead decides to play for the dive out of Oscar, but turns out that this situation is now highly favorable for Fnatic. Why? Well, turns out Cassandra is pretty good at surviving dives, while Rubble really isn't. And so what happens here is Fnatic get off a dive onto 369. They end up pulling his flash here, which will be relevant later. And then Oscar survives the dive pretty handsomely. Top esports go a bit later, miss some spells, bro presses W, he's completely fine. And then I think there's even a slight bit of a redive attempt here, but as you can see, TES just don't have the damage. And so this already gives Oscar a slight XP to work with, which is always nice, right? And then Fnatic proceed to just resolve the lane swap instantly, which I think, like, this first initial swap back into bot lane is fine, but then I think they could have swapped back some more to really just abuse this Rumble's flash and then play for the Grubs as well, which is a very contested objective nowadays, right? But then decide to just play the lanes normally, which is also fine. I just think they could have gotten themselves a little bit of a bigger lead if they had played like that. But to their credit, they end up still making good use of the 369 flash they pulled, because a few minutes later, they actually play a solid gank onto 369, and if you look here, you can see that this play is most likely pre-communicated in the sense that Oscar hits 6 exactly when they play the gank. I have a very hard time seeing how this was not planned in advance, so good job to Fnatic abusing that, but now in the process still have to concede the Grubs because top esports still has better tempo on the map, which is a bit of an L. But yeah, no biggie, game continues. For now, not really that much going on. Fnatic about to take a bit of an iffy fight in the bot lane. You can see here just wanting a bit too much, but this one's not really too interesting. Next interesting play really happens at minute 9 when Fnatic go for some top play. As you can see, Jackinlove extended here without flash, and then some wards about to be set behind him. So Fnatic end up investing TP here to kill him, which is a fine idea, but then 2 TPs is just a tad bit much. Like 1 TP is plenty to get the kill reliably here. You can maybe answer top esports TP if they decide to match it as well. But then now we're just losing a bit too much in the other lanes. As you can see here, Skarner forced to catch mid wave, which is fine but not ideal, and then bot lane Fnatic are about to lose a whole bunch of minions. So maybe a bit of an overinvestment here. And then this is a pattern that's gonna come back up as well. Now, top esports able to secure themselves the 6 Grubs, which is a pretty big strategic victory, especially with a champ like Yone, who's pretty strong inside and can actually hit tower and abuse the Grubs. And yeah, Fnatic also end up making a slight blunder in the mid lane. As you can see, 3 members from top esports showing, and Fnatic pull Tian's flat, which is cool, but then Oscar just goes completely mad and like, yo, I gotta go in here, flash in here, and then just finds out that Fnatic have no damage with these 3 champs, which, you know, a bit overforced, but happens. Keep in mind to always check where your carries are before you find engages. But yeah, so after this play, Fnatic try again to play proactively and end up diving the Rumble here on bot lane, which I think is reasonable play. Problem is just, again, they want a bit too much. Like here, you can just kill 369, be happy, and then get out, enjoy life. But instead, once again, everyone just moves to bot, tries to go to this fight when, in fact, you don't really have damage yet because your Smolder doesn't have stacks. So, to me, I think could have gotten out a bit earlier again. And so, game still continues. It's still, like, as you can see, relatively even. Top esports small gold lead, but for now, Fnatic can still play. Game is far from lost, and Fnatic about to secure themselves another nice play, actually. As you can see, the Yone has a bit of a shutdown now, and in a second he's gonna swap to top lane after Fnatic trade themselves a dragon for a bot tower. And so after the hero play now, Cream is left on top lane alone, which Fnatic are like, yo, let's try to get this guy's shutdown, shall we? And Razok just goes zoom, 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 rolling in with his Garner and finds a very nice cancel onto Cream's Fate Sealed. And so they end up finding themselves a pick at least. And note how this time, top esports does not have notable side lanes that are about to be denied if the nice people of the crowd would. Let me show that. Yeah, see here. This time there's no tower to eat the whole wave up, so Fnatic aren't actually losing resources in mid or bot for this play, which is what makes it decidedly better than the previous pick on the Rumble, but also the pick that is about to occur next, which in my opinion is the highlight of the game in the sense that this is what really makes the game lost in Fnatic's shoes. And it's this pick right here. And if you're like my buddy and me, then after watching this, you might have been like, huh, this looks kind of fine actually. But then if you look closer, you will see that this is the same level of overcommit as was seen on the top side here. So Oscar TPs, and you can see the entire Fnatic team is just on bot side now. What does that mean? Well, top esports is about to push in this top lane and murder this tower, and they can push in mid lane and murder this tower also because they have 6 scrubs, right? This is all happening really, really fast. And then they can attack this tower here as well. They're about to drop a herald, and if Fnatic do not respond instantly, then they will proceed to lose this tower as well. They do respond instantly, so top esports just gets a really big chunk. And now Fnatic just get kind of angry for no reason. Like, you could kind of imagine the comms here, like, oh my god, guys, they just got 2 towers, we kind of got to force a fight here. But then what basis are you really forcing a fight on? Like, guys, I'm Smolder, I have all this damage without my stacks. Like, what? You don't ever kill anyone here. And then top esports just turn the fight and end up getting some kills here as well. Next to the take of the pre-chunked top lane tier 2, which is, well, at this point, pretty much clinically dead. And so in one fell swoop, Fnatic go from almost even to 4k gold down, which, well, seals their fate in this game. And yeah, that concludes our analysis for today. I hope you learned something. If you did learn something, I would love it if you left a comment both on what you learned and maybe on things I could do better as well in the future. I do want to keep improving my content, and I can only do that with feedback from you guys. And then secondly, I would really appreciate it if you joined my community server. You can find the link to that in the description. And yeah, I'll hope to see you in the next one.